We are 9 hours and 40-ish minutes away from kickoff of the NFL season. It is my hometown team, my favorite team, against your adopted team, the Baltimore Ravens. It is a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game, and it is how the NFL is starting the season. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so the Chiefs are opening up for the fourth time in 8 years. They're 2-1 in those games, by the way. And as you said, it's an AFC rematch. Both teams have had relatively pretty good off seasons compared to all the good teams. You call this a no-lose for Kansas City. So what do you think are going to be the biggest takeaways from this game?
Well, I mean, the reason I said it's a no-lose, to be clear, is I don't see scenario, obviously, let's just bar injury from it, bar devastating injury. For all of our analysis about all these games across the board in the NFL, throw it in the trash. If a key player suffers a season-ending injury, that obviously, changes everybody's outlook. But aside from that, even if the Chiefs lose, no one's going to lose faith in them. No one with a brain is going to lose faith in them. And if they win, it's now Mahomes 5-1 against Lamar. It's back-to-back losses for the Ravens against the Chiefs, one in Baltimore, one in Kansas City. But I think the story for tonight is going to be how dominant the Chiefs offense looks once again. So I think last year muddied the waters a bit in people's brain about how elite early in the year Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes offenses have been. Here is prior to last year, Patrick Mahomes' 5 career week ones. Week 1, his first year as a starter. 250 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks, a 128 rating in a win. Week 1, his second year as a starter. 380 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 143 rating in a win. Year 3 as a starter. Only 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 123 rating in a win. Year 4 as a starter. 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 131 rating in a win. Year 5 as a starter. 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, a 144 rating in a win. And then last year, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, a 78 rating in a loss. Prior to last year, the average Mahomes' first game of the season was 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, a 130 rating, and the Chiefs averaged 35 points per game. That was the average performance for his whole career. I have no reason to believe it's going to be, I don't know if it'll be 35 points and a laser show against an elite Baltimore team, but the Chiefs take the preseason so seriously. Andy Reid extra time to prepare. Baltimore new pieces on defense. Baltimore new defensive coordinator. If your Ravens, DeMonze, are going to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to score 30 points. That's where I come out on this. I do not think it's going to be anything close to the script of last year's AFC Championship game where it was a race to 20 and neither team got there. 17-10, man. The Chiefs scored all the points they needed in that game on their opening 2 drives, which was crazy given how elite Baltimore's offense was all year. I also think, real quick, because I'm going to give the Chiefs angle, then I want to ask you some Ravens questions. Just the threat of Xavier Worthy out on the field is going to open things up so much for Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce over the middle. Kelce, people, there was no speed that people were afraid of on the Chiefs last year. They bracketed Kelce. They kept a cloud over him when they wanted to, and he still had damn near 1,000 yards and obviously a dominant playoff run. But a lot of that was impromptu, off script, he and Mahomes mind meld stuff, not, oh, this guy's running open. This year he's going to be running open. I also think Isaiah Pacheco is one of the more, at this point, underrated backs in football. I do think one of the more underrated stories in football this year is the Chiefs' starting left tackle is a rookie second-round pick. The kid from BYU, Kingsley, I might mispronounce his last name, Suamata. Apologies if I do. Now, they love him. And Andy has, a great history with BYU, but that's a big responsibility. You have a rookie second rounder protecting Mahomes' blind side. Flip side to that coin is, if that kid's good, that is $30 million of cap savings every year for the next 4 years. If you have a starting caliber left tackle, maybe not $30 million cap saving, call it $25 million, on a second round pick salary for the next 4 years, that is so incredibly valuable. So there's that piece of it. Now to the Ravens. Their big offseason addition was Derrick Henry. Demonte, they obviously replaced some offensive linemen. Everything else offensively is basically the same. The question I have for you is this. The knock on the Ravens in the AFC Championship game was, man, they didn't run the ball.
Yeah.
6 runs by running backs. They now add Derrick Henry. However, Lamar is slimmed down. Lamar's the defending MVP. Lamar's playing, Patrick Mahomes. The whole narrative going into last season was, we're going to show Lamar can be elite as a passer. What do you want? Forget what you think is going to happen. What do you want the Ravens' approach to be? Lean into the run, try to pound the Chiefs, or have Lamar drop back, or a little mix? Like, where? How do you want this game to play out, and how do you see it playing out?
I think we should take what the defense gives us. If Lamar wants to run, then he should be able to run. I'm cool with them doing whatever it is to get the win. I don't really prefer any type, but yeah, I think that they'll go out and let Lamar Jackson play football. I don't think that they're gonna try to put any chains on him, so to speak, like they did last year. But yeah.
Do you so Brew, you and Brew are the two biggest Ravens folks in my life. Brew is incredibly high on the Derrick Henry edition. I don't love aging running backs on another team. Even though Derrick Henry's a Hall of Fame caliber player, Derrick Henry, to be fair to him, I'm gonna throw a number at you real quick. Derrick Henry in his career against Kansas City has been a dominant player. Derrick Henry against the Chiefs in the regular season, 4 games. By the way, 3-1 against the Chiefs in his career with the Titans in the regular season, which is crazy.
That's pretty crazy, yeah.
Averaging 111 yards per game. That's in the regular season. His one playoff game against Kansas City. You know what? That's wrong. He actually has 2 playoff games against Kansas City because he has one in the pre-Mahomes era. His first one against Kansas City, 156 yards and a touchdown in a win. His second one against Kansas City, 69 yards and a touchdown in the AFC Championship game loss. But that does mean Derrick Henry's 4-2 in his career, including a playoff win against the Chiefs. I forgot that he was on the Titans team that beat Kansas City in the pre-Mahomes era.
He is up there
that was the last
for a running back as far as age. If he played against the Chiefs, then I didn't know he was at that age.
No, so I think he turns 31 during the season. He turns 31 in January 4th. So he's 30 all year. You know what I mean? He'll be 31 right at the end of the season.
Yeah, the Derrick Henry thing, I've always been I feel like it's a little gluttonous. I was telling Matt, like it's like too much of one good thing, but I do think it gives them the ability to confuse the defense. I think Lamar Jackson's really good at that, like fake handoff, like the RPO or whatever you want to call it. I think he's really good at making it seem like, is he passing here, or is he giving it off, or is he going to pass it? But yeah, no, I like Derrick Henry back there, but I hope it works the way it should. It should work looking at it on paper, but I could see it getting a little tricky. Yeah.
So here's the concern for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, if we just go through his career, 4 years ago, 2,000 yards, 126 yards per game, 5.4 yards per carry. One of the best seasons any running backs had in the history of football. The following year, missed half the season with injury. Still, though, when he played, 117 yards per game, but from 5.4 yards per carry to 4.3 yards per carry. 2 years ago, played the whole year, 96 yards per game, still really good, and 4.4 yards per carry. Last year, played the whole year, 68 yards per game, 4.2 yards per carry. Derrick Henry has led the NFL in rushing attempts 4 of the last 5 years. It is just, now, Adrian Peterson was like that, and Adrian Peterson had a 1,500-yard season, I think, at age 33. So some guys are just different.
And also, dude, he's also got the size on him. That's the other thing that I feel like is a pro for him. He's a big dude, so like he's very durable.
No, he's massive. He's durable and he's massive. If the Ravens have still prime-ish Derrick Henry, it's obviously a massive asset. I'm skeptical of that. Tonight we'll see, because the Chiefs, as great as the defense was last year, their run defense has never been great. Their pass defense was out of this world last year. The run defense hasn't always been great. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.